Welcome, traveller, to a curious place, a place where the wind carries whispers of forgotten things, and the stars above weave stories into the streets below. Ashbourne, that's the name of the town, though I'm sure you've heard it called many things. And here, in this corner of the world, you'll find my humble shop, Altaire's Apothecary. The apothecary moves, you see. It's not fixed to one place, nor to any particular time. Sometimes we're nestled between the crooked alleys of Market Square, where time seems to run in circles. Other days we're hidden in the quiet embrace of Elm Hollow, where the trees lean in as if they're listening. Wherever you are, though, you've found us, and that means you're exactly where you need to be. I've been running this shop for quite some time now, though I couldn't tell you exactly how long. Time works differently here. Days bleed into nights, and sometimes the stars seem to fall in reverse. But that's just Ashbourne for you. Today, the apothecary sits near the clock tower of Wheelwood. The bells haven't chimed in quite some time, at least not at the correct hour. No one in Ashbourne seems to mind. They say the clock keeps its own time, as old as the town itself. Children often gather around the tower to listen for its chimes, creating their own games based on when they believe the next bell will toll. I can hear their laughter, bright and carefree, a delightful contrast to the mysteries that swirl in the air. But let's not dwell too much on the mysteries of the clock. You're here now, and that's all that matters. The air tonight is thick with the scent of night-blooming flowers, and the faint hum of magic weaves through the cobblestone streets. The apothecary is brimming with potions, remedies, and curiosities. Each bottle holds a story, some as old as Ashbourne itself. Others are waiting to be written. Today, a rather curious customer wandered in, a gentleman with a hat far too large for his head and shoes that seemed to squeak in perfect rhythm with the ticking of the clock outside. He didn't say much, just mumbled something about lost time and asked for a bottle of stardust. Of course, I obliged. Stardust is a common request here. People think it'll help them catch the last glimmer of something they've lost. Sometimes it does. Then there was the woman with the raven. She didn't ask for anything at all, just stood in the doorway, her eyes tracing the shelves as if looking for something she wasn't ready to find. Her raven, however, was far more interested in Whimsy. Ah, yes, I haven't introduced you to Whimsy yet, have I? My companion of sorts. Whimsy is, well, a creature you might call part cat, part dog, and part something else altogether. They've been with me for as long as I can remember. With fur that glimmers in the moonlight and eyes like swirling galaxies, Whimsy is always a source of wonder for our visitors. And tonight, Whimsy's been particularly restless, chasing shadows and batting at things I can't quite see, but that's just Whimsy. The woman left after a few moments, her raven still eyeing Whimsy with what I can only describe as curiosity. People come and go here, but they always leave with something, whether they know it or not. As the evening deepened, I took a stroll through the market. Market Square, as always, was bustling with its strange mix of merchants. One vendor was selling whispering teas. The moment you take a sip, the tea shares a secret with you. Some say the secrets come from far-off lands. Others say they're the murmurs of the stars themselves. Today, a patron nearly spilled their tea upon hearing a secret about a treasure hidden beneath the very cobblestones we walked upon. The look of surprise on their face was worth the price of admission. Then there was Thistle Thorn, the town's resident tinkerer. You'll know her when you see her. Wild hair, smudged apron, and always carrying some half-finished contraption. Today she was working on a clockwork bird that, according to her, was supposed to deliver messages in song. I'll admit, I'm curious to see if it works, though knowing Thistle, it'll probably chirp in riddles. And let's not forget the gnome juggling miniature fireworks. He caused quite the commotion in the square, nearly setting old Hendrik's pastry stall on fire. It's a good thing Hendrik is as calm as ever. I'm fairly certain nothing surprises him anymore. His pastries, however, have been appearing in rather odd places lately. Just yesterday, I found a tart perched precariously on the apothecary's roof. Perhaps it's a sign that pastries have a mind of their own here in Ashbourne. Ah, Ashbourne, a place where the ordinary and the impossible blend seamlessly together. Tonight, the stars are particularly bright. They seem to be hanging lower than usual, as if watching over the town with a careful eye. I can hear the distant chime of bells, though not from the clock tower, no. These bells are older, deeper, and they carry with them the weight of forgotten things. They remind me of the tales my grandmother used to tell, stories of how each bell tolling at midnight brings forth a new adventure. Earlier today, a letter arrived. Strange, I know. The apothecary doesn't have a fixed address, yet the letters always find their way. This one was particularly peculiar. No name, no return address, just a short request written in silver ink. It simply read, "How do you catch a star before it falls?" I haven't the faintest idea who sent it, but the question lingered with me for hours. Catching stars is no easy task, you see. They fall fast, and they fall silently. Some say if you wish for something just as they fall, you can trap the wish in midair and hold it forever. But that's not something I'd recommend. Wishes are meant to be free. Besides, the last time I tried, I ended up with a rather disgruntled wish that followed me around for weeks, demanding to be fulfilled. Whimsy naturally tried to eat the letter. I stopped them, of course, but only just in time. I'd like to say I gave it more thought, but sometimes it's better to let questions linger unanswered. Still, I wonder, what would someone do with a star that didn't want to be caught? What if it wished to roam freely among the clouds, dancing with the moon? As the evening stretches on, the air has turned a little cooler, and the moon is unusually large tonight, hanging low over the rooftops like it's waiting for something to happen. I've always felt that Ashbourne was a place where the extraordinary was just waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. There's a man just outside the shop now who's been standing there for the better part of an hour. I've seen him before, always at dusk, always lingering by the apothecary, but never coming inside. His coat is worn, patched in places that suggest it's been mended many times. I think he's waiting for the stars to tell him something. Sometimes I feel the same. Whimsy's been watching him too, eyes wide, ears twitching in that curious way they do when they sense something strange in the air. It's rare that Whimsy pays anyone much attention for this long. Maybe he holds a story worth telling, or perhaps a secret worth keeping. The night deepens and I can feel the apothecary's restlessness. It always gets this way when it's time to move. The stars above seem to shimmer just a little brighter, as if guiding the shop toward its next destination. And I can't help but feel that the air itself is holding its breath. But before I go, let me tell you about the old man I met this morning. He shuffled in with a walking stick made of twisted, gnarled wood, eyes clouded but sharp with something ancient. He asked for a potion to make him invisible. Naturally, I asked why. He said he wanted to walk unnoticed for a while, just to see if the world would look at him differently if he weren't there. I gave him a small vial of Midnight's Veil, a mixture that doesn't exactly make you invisible, but it does blur the edges of your presence. Makes you harder to notice, like a shadow slipping between the cracks. He smiled, an odd, toothless grin, and slipped it into his pocket before shuffling out, leaving behind the scent of rain on dry earth. Moments like these fill the apothecary with warmth, the kind of warmth that settles deep in your bones and lingers long after the encounter is over. It's the reason I keep the door open, even when the chill of night creeps in. Ashbourne is a tapestry of stories, and I'm just a thread weaving my own into the fabric. And as the clock ticks on and the stars wane, I feel the stirrings of adventure around the corner. Perhaps it's time for me to follow the man in the coat, or maybe it's time to step into the night myself. Either way, I'll leave you with this thought. Each star you see tonight is a story waiting to be told. So go forth, dear traveller, and catch a few of your own. Until next time, may your journeys be filled with wonder, and may the stars guide your path.